Hello everyone, it's Diane. Oh, it's Tuesday afternoon. I have been doing some work on this journal along with some other things today. And I have the pages pretty much set in here and partially embellished, probably mostly embellished. I might add a little bit more. But there has been some interest in seeing how I put the pages together for these larger domestic art style books. So, a lot of times what I do when I make a journal is I make one signature. I usually have 3 signatures in my journals. So I make one signature and then I use that as kind of a template for the other signatures. And then if I'm making 2 or 3 journals, I kind of duplicate those signatures using different elements, and they all look different, but kind of following the same pattern. For this one, since there is so much to do, so many different things to do, and so many different materials I'm using, all 3 signatures in this journal are different. But I have them done. The skeletons are done anyway, and a lot of embellishing. So I'm going to use these 3 signatures as a template for the signatures in the second book. I made the spine already, so once I do a little more embellishing, I'm ready to sew that journal together. But I'm going to just take the first signature out, and I'm going to make these pages, and I'm going to make them with you watching, so you can see how I make them. I don't know where the front cover is to the second book. I had it today. It's around here. It's just buried under something. And I have the back cover, so I know I can get the size right, because this is a slightly different size from this one. So I told you that these are, I'm sorry, I'm getting a ruler. These are larger books than normal journals. I love them. I have so much fun making these. This one is 8 inches wide by not quite 11 inches tall. And the second one that I'm making is wider. It's a little over 11 inches tall and just over 8 inches wide. So it's just a little bit larger. So let's just take this page by page and construct another signature. I happen to have a wide ledger book. This is a page I think that somebody gave to me. Somebody sent me 2 pages of this ledger, and I used them both in the first journal. But I also have this one that I got at a flea market. It came with a very heavy cover and a metal spine, and I don't even know how to take it apart. So I have my cutter behind me. If my voice gets quiet, it's because I'm turning around to use my cutter, which I'm going to just trim that rough edge off. So even though this is wide, it would still be narrow for my book. So I am going to add a book page to it. I think is it too? Oh, I guess I don't have to shorten it. So I have a book page here, which came out of the craft book for the cover that I'm using. I can speak English, I promise I can. Okay, so I just trimmed the rough edge off of that too. And it looks like the height is okay. So I'm going to just sew this on. I haven't folded anything yet. I'm just going to sew this on, and then we will see where we're at as far as the size that we need. I hope I can make this work using larger pages with my camera, my tripod right there in my way. So I just have this lined up the way I want it, and I'm going to, you can use any kind of stitch you want. I'm going to use a zigzag just to make it more decorative. accidentally touched a button that my machine didn't want me to. It's scolding me. Okay, so I want to make the ledger fit the book. So I just have it on my cover here, and I'm going to fold it so that it's the right width. And because there's ledger lines, that helps me. Once I know where I want to fold it, it helps me fold it straight right on the line there. So the back part of the page is the size I need. So now I just have to take this page and fold it in a bit smaller. Doesn't have to be smaller, but there. Now this page is the right size for the book. And while I'm here, I'm just going to go ahead and embellish it. I have one of my little, what these things are called, cluster that we made yesterday. And I'm just going to glue this on as a decoration. I have trouble with this glue bottle. I don't know why, but I really have a lot of trouble getting my glue out. It's my 3-in-1 Beacon glue. But for some reason, the nozzle is bent a little bit. I wonder if that's why. I have to work so hard just to get a little glue out. That's probably why my nozzle's bent, because I keep banging it down there to get it out. And then on this side, I just want to put a little playing card, a Christmas playing card like I have here. It's one of the undecorated ones. So I'm just going to stitch this, let it hang off the top a bit, like kind of like a tab. I'm just going to stitch it right across the top. Just knock the glue over. And by the way, my domestic arts journals are definitely inspired by Gina Johnson at the ReBookery. I love the journals that she makes, and I love creating these kinds of journals. And so I'm just so thankful for her creativity. And then on this side, I want to make just sew some lace and a little vintage gift card. I think I'll use this green lace here. Here, like that. slip and slide on this glossy paper. So this page is done. This is ready to go in my book. Each signature has, I think, about 9 pages. And there's page number 1. Okay. The next page is just a page out of a Christmas records book where you would write down what you had for dinner, what guests came, things like that. I bought this at I think maybe the Salvation Army or something like that, several years ago, and I still have quite a few pages. So I am just going to embellish this a little bit, and there is room for journaling on it. It says Christmas, holiday visits and visitors, a place for you to write the year, family photograph, and favorite Christmas card. So I'm going to put some red lace on this page, right there. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of a fabric tab up here. And I'm going to embellish that tab a bit. Just going to put a little gingerbread man on it. And when I find my little red dots, they got buried. I don't even know if they're on this table or the other table. When I find my little red dots, I'm going to put one on like I did here. If I remember to go back and do that. Again, I'm having trouble getting this glue to come out. So there's page 2. It goes quickly when I already know what I'm doing. The first set takes a while because I'm trying to figure what I want to do. So for this page, we have a page from a Christmas Carol book, a vintage Christmas Carol book, and I've added some pom-pom trim. And then this is just a nice sheet of notebook paper, and I've added some embellishments. I will be adding buttons or beads or something to these tabs. So I have my Christmas Carol page here and my notebook page. And this one is more centered. So I folded an edge in on the edge on the side of the Christmas Carol page to sew it in. But I think on this one I'm going to fold the notebook paper. So I just have a little bit of a flap there, and I will sew it to the Christmas Carol paper. I am not going to put this right up against the fold. I want there to be a little bit of a space. I'll be stitching right down in there, hand stitching, when I sew the signatures in. Now I want to make sure that this isn't too wide. Nope, it's just about right. So I'm going to add some pom-pom. Got some green here. This is vintage pom-pom trim. And I have some ribbon. Someone sent this to me. I'm just gonna see, it's a pretty, looks like an Edwardian lady. Maybe Victorian. I'm just going to sew this ribbon on. Just going to sew it down one side, down this side here. And this time I'm going to put a tab on the side of the paper. Just trying to find a small piece of fabric. I'll use this one. And there's another page done. Next I have a smaller page. This is a craft book page that opens out. So it will end up like this and open this way. I don't need to cut it down at all, but I want to add an envelope to it. So on this one, I added a recipe card. I just glued it down and a little embellishment. See what side I want to cover. think I'll put my recipe card on that page. And then I will add this large envelope. See the gold dove on it. And I embellished the envelope too and put something in there. So here's my recipe card. I'm going to use my ATG to attach that. I could make it a pocket, but I'm not this time. And it's upside down. Try that again. If I can find, I have these printable tickets. So I just have to find the sheet of them because I don't think they're cut out yet. I've got them right here. I don't remember which digital shop I got those from. Woke up to white ground this morning. It's pretty much all melted now. Just going to sew on the side there. I have the envelope right here. I made a little fabric pocket. Let's see, I want to make sure I get it right side up. Okay, so the flap goes here. And so this is where the fabric pocket is going to go. Let's do this one. I don't think I've used this one yet. Somebody sent this to me, probably Pierrette. She sent me a variety of Christmas fabrics. And I've been using them. It's a little too wide. Just a little off the bottom. And then I added some lace. Maybe I'll use some of this velvet ribbon. That looks pretty. don't want to add too much to this because it's a pretty print and I don't want to cover the horses. I can't sew it to the envelope because I would sew the envelope shut. So I'm just going to stitch around the edges. And now I will glue it on. I have to be careful. I caught my pinky finger, my right pinky finger, on something yesterday and moving quick. And I caught it on something and pulled it sideways and I hurt it. And it hurt. And it's sore today. Probably a slight strain or sprain or something, although it's not swollen. I just have to be careful. I broke that pinky when I was young, playing volleyball. At summer camp, on the first day of camp, had to go to the hospital. That's a pretty pocket. Let me see here. I will put this tag in the pocket when the pocket's dry. On the other side of the envelope, right here, I just put down an image and a little fabric collage. I'll put that one there. I'm going to use my other glue. This one will work for paper and it's easier to squeeze. Much easier. It's this one, by the way. Scotch. And then I just cut a little piece of chenille and a little piece of bead sack fabric. I'm knocking things all over the place here. Wonder what I did with that bead sack fabric. I don't know. Here it is. I've got this green and this red bead sack fabric think I'll use the red one. This bead sack fabric, of course, came from Jennifer at Fabric Thread Needle. And she did put together a special set again for my viewers. It's 25, I think, large pieces, like 6 by 12. I think it was 6 by 12, so that's pretty big for what we do. It's not just the little scraps. And it's $30 including the shipping. So for vintage bead sack fabric, that's pretty good. So I will link her shop below. She likes to work with me to do promotions for my viewers. And I love using the bead sack fabrics. Now I can sew the envelope to the page. Ooh, got something sticky on it. Must be I got some of the glue on my table. I don't usually glue over here, but I'm doing everything over here so that I can be on video. Okay, so here I am going to open up the envelope and put the edge of the page not quite to the fold of the envelope. When you do something like this, you have to make sure your envelope isn't going to be too big for the page when it's folded over. Okay, so that one is done. I will just have to put something inside here. I will find something at a later date. Okay, where's my stuff? Knock some of the pages on the floor. I just have to make sure I've got them all straightened up. Okay. Next page looks like this. So it has another page from a craft notebook. I think it's a different one. And then this page from a stenciling book. And I have them right here. All of a sudden, I have an attack of the itches. My throat is itching like crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna fold this over like I did with that other page. And sew this to it, and then we'll see if it's too wide. My book back. Looks good. So on this side, I sewed a strip of ribbon. Pardon me. And a little Christmas printable tag. That I cut from this sheet. This is from digitalcollageclub.com. Not sure, it might have been a free one. I think I got it last year, but I never made anything with it. I'm just going to sew this here, right along where the pages meet. Oops, I think I'm out of bobbin thread. Or something happened. Not out of thread, but oh, sometimes there's a little notch here where they put the thread in to hold it in place before you buy it, and then sometimes the thread gets caught on that, and that's what happened. But I am at 40 minutes now. I'm going to stop this video, go take an allergy pill, and then I'll come right back to do some more pages with you. Don't go away.